Hey recliners, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to talk to you about the movie that I saw earlier today around 1:15 p.m. So go ahead and like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Let's get that out the way so we can jump right into this movie, okay? As you know, this movie is called Here. I really enjoyed this movie. For those of you who don't know the way I format this, I go ahead and tell you why you should go see the movie or if you shouldn't go see the movie. I tell you my rating, then I give you a couple seconds to press pause, go see it yourself, and come back because I'm about to give you a lot of spoilers, okay? So this movie, I think if you like great storytelling, you should go see this. If you're looking for suspense and something like a whole lot of drama and to be like wowed or even to immediately be brought to tears, this is not going to do that for you. So don't watch it if that's what you're looking for. This is something, it is a story well told of everyday people who you encounter. And I just think it was a great story. It was worth the watch. I ultimately ended up giving it an 8 out of 10. It wasn't like the most compelling thing I've ever seen, but I personally enjoyed what I perceived the goal of this film was. So you already know, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. This is the time you're supposed to be pausing this. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Let me get my handy dandy book. I took written notes for y'all in the theater because I wanted to be specific. All right, where do I begin? So the way I do my ratings, I give a rating for cinematography, writing, directing, main actor, supporting actor, tone, plot, storytelling, the score, musically, the title of the film, and its overall enjoyability. So, and then I jot down like some notes here at the top of things that really stood out to me in the film. So my very first note that I wrote, they did this like evolution of time. Now the point of the movie is to show that there's this house. Mind you, this entire film is shot from the same angle. Imagine watching a movie for an hour and 45 minutes and this is the only angle you're ever going to see. That's already a challenge to do and keep your audience engaged. And so I felt like they did it in a very compelling way where there were a lot of moving pieces, so you were never really like bored by watching this frame. I thought it was cool. The whole premise of the movie is to show you the evolution of all the things that can happen here, all the things that have happened here, and to really make us think about like where I'm sitting in was a plot of land. And I know this because we were there. I used to come up here with my father and watch, just look at the dirt. And so I know that this house, this room did not exist. We didn't move in here. And before that dirt existed, something else was here. There were trees here, and before the trees were here, there was something else. I never think about the concept that's outside of that dirt that I remember as a kid, that this place was something else. And so I think that the movie, it was a little corny how they went all the way back to like dinosaurs and a little, it was very corny with the all of the Native American scenes, some of them, especially that scene where they made us watch that lady, like they literally put her dead body like this close to the camera. I thought that was very dramatic and unnecessary. But I did enjoy, I guess for me it was like, if we're going to show the evolution of time, we got to show the evolution of time. Like who's to say that dinosaurs were not trotting through where my theater room is, right? Who's to say that they weren't? Who's to say that there weren't, this wasn't a cave for cavemen back in the day, or that this wasn't a prime area of whatever before it was ever the dirt that we then built a house on 20 years ago, right? And so I think that the way that they showed that in a compelling way, that this view was a place that was historic. The view is historic, not just the building itself. I thought that that was very compelling in how they did that. I love that very much. Okay. As soon as I saw the parents come on the screen, the first one was the dad. So I was like, Vision, because I'm a Marvel fan. And then when his wife Rose walked in, I said, oh my gosh, it's Beth, because Yellowstone, like, she's the best. I felt like she had great, and I'll kind of get into the actors, but I felt like they both did great, and I was just very excited to see Vision and Beth. Never thought I would see those two together, but it worked. I already talked about they didn't have to put her dead body. One of my favorite things in the movie that they did was they showed generationally how you raise your kids impacts your kids. So the dad was like, I was in the military, I came out and I'm a salesman. You got to get a job because you got to provide for your family. And his son is like, hey dad, I want to be an artist. And it's like, no, you need to get a real job where you can wear a suit. And then the mom is like, I wanted to be a bookkeeper. He was like, you wouldn't have been a good bookkeeper. Like, just be a wife. And then the son's girlfriend, they get knocked up and she becomes pregnant. And it's like, she was supposed to be going to law school. Not only was she supposed to be going to law school, which was her desire because they were 18. They were just fresh out of high school. She didn't get to go to college. She didn't get to go to law school. Everything that she dreamed for herself in her life, by the time she got to that 50th birthday where she was having that meltdown, it was like, what was that, 20, 30 years of my life have flashed before my eyes and I'm not where I wanted to be. And everyone is here in this room celebrating a life that I'm not proud of. Celebrating a life that I kind of hate. And I don't know, and I feel stuck and I feel trapped in it because it's all I know and I don't know what to do. So now she's like, she has this life coach, which was kind of like a bad life coach, but I'm trying to do everything I can to be better. And I've been asking you to move. I need my own space. And he just felt comfortable there. He was always not confident that he could afford it. It was just always a reason. So she just always felt trapped. And we got to just see the evolution of that and how they push both of them from their perspective of not living out your dream. For both of them, him as an artist, them ensuring that that never happened to their daughter. She went on to be, a lawyer. She went on to make senior partner. Like, what her dreams were, she did them. And so that was I enjoyed how they showed all of that from this one frame, from living room conversations, how the times have changed with the way that men spoke to women and treated them, just how that transitioned to being passed down kind of to the son and Margaret, but then kind of not, like that challenge in and of itself, and how this space has transcended from this era to this era to still this one family in its entire lifespan, all the way up until this home gets sold and we have this family in it that is a black family, where there's also clips of we see black slaves, right? Now we are forward where it's exciting that this black family has bought this beautiful home, but then now this is the same living room where the dad has to have a conversation with his son about how to conduct himself in a car with the police. And it's like, dang, this that same living room that they've been having Christmas in. This that same living room that the Lazy Boy was created in. This the same living room space environment that is across from where Benjamin Franklin grew up. Like, all of that is right here in this living room. And so I felt like that was amazing. I enjoyed it being from the one shop. I was excited to see how they were going to do it. I'm still trying to figure out how they CGI Tom Hanks to be so young. And it was believable. I think because I was staring at it in disbelief for so long, I was able to see the CGI. But I really enjoyed seeing these younger versions of him, even like his brother going into the military, which really looked like him. Like, that was cool. One of my other favorite things that I really enjoyed was getting to see this Forrest Gump Jenny reunion. Okay. Cinematography, again, I love that it was from the one angle. I love not even just from the one angle, but literally everything happened in this frame. People were walking past the frame, people were walking in the frame. It did not move from this rectangle that they even outlined several times throughout the film. I just enjoyed every bit of framing to show the transitions of time. It was absolutely amazing how they did that. The CGI was, again, only noticeable because I was actively staring at it. But I did love that one angle. There were times where it got like a little boring, but I wouldn't even put that on the storytelling because I enjoyed the story. I think that some of the frames and trying to go back and forth with the cinematography wasn't too, like, the Native American scenes, I feel like they could have done way better. Especially, again, putting that dead body that close to that camera. That was very extreme. I enjoyed the writing. Again, I felt like it was a story well told. I felt like everything that everyone said was appropriate for the era. It was just overall good. Directing, I love the directing because there was a lot of, the transitions between time were always seamless. And so I enjoyed, like, it would be like the little rumba thing is about to come where his foot is, and then he will walk out the room. It was like as people walked in and walked out, and they're dancing in one scene back in the 1900s, and then they're dancing now in 2003. Like the directing of and the timing of everything was wonderful. It was just absolutely amazing. Now, acting again. Let's go back to Vision and Beth. I enjoyed him as this firm dad. I enjoyed her as an agreeable wife. It was different kind of seeing them because, again, literally as they were their opposites. Like, Vision is this, like, stay-at-home dad that's very loving and kind. But here, he's this working father who's, like, very stern with his kids. And then Beth, who were used to knocking stuff and breaking, like, an entire retail store apart. And just being Beth is now this quiet stay-at-home mom who is just stay-at-home wife, honestly, who was just very silenced several times throughout this movie, or just talked down to by her husband like Beth would never. So it was very cool to see both of these people in their very prominent roles play the opposite of themselves in a relationship. That was very compelling to me. I also enjoyed, like I said, this Tom Hanks and Robin Wright reunion. Like, we finally got to see like what it would be like with the two of them being in a relationship that was like long term. And I think that it's interesting that Robin Wright, especially in her relationships with Tom Hanks, is always unfulfilled and is always chasing something else. And so I thought that that was very interesting that they kind of arrived at that, being the same writers, same cast. Like, that's very interesting that like she still is unsatisfied with life. All of the supporting actors, literally every era that shifted into, all the kids, the cousins, the family. I really enjoyed when, this is gonna sound really, really bad, when the neighbor died, because it was so like dramatic. He just like, and he just like dropped. And it was like, or the scene where Rose was under the Christmas tree. It took me a second. I didn't even see it. I was like, why did ladder on that tree like that? And then the lady next to me was like, and I was like, why she gasped? And I looked and I saw Rose's arm. I said, oh my gosh, Rose on the ground. And then she had a stroke. That was so sad. But just the way that they tell the story of how things happen. Now she back in that living room, but she's sitting and thinking, people got to feed her. Like, these are all things that happen in these spaces. And so that was just very compelling. I don't think anybody, even the kids, like, mommy, I can't find my blue ribbon. Like, every single person was exactly who they needed to be in their era, at their age, in the interpersonal role in the family. I thought it was very compelling, very amazing. I feel like the tone of this was it was emotional and dramatic, because it's naturally dramatic because it took the scenic route, and it's emotional because it's trying to evoke this emotion of the different things that are happening in these different dynamics. But I also think that the tone was appreciative of just life and what we have, because I found myself throughout the movie like just having gratitude for this space, for having gratitude for my bedroom, for having gratitude for my car, just being very grateful for the things that I have, for where I am in life, just because of that one space. Like, this space was not what it is, and I'm grateful that it is what it is. And so I feel like the tone, the appreciative tone throughout the film was very amazing. Again, storytelling was great. I felt like the challenge with going in and out of the scenes is trying to make the character development stick, especially with such a simple lifestyle. There wasn't a lot of there wasn't a lot of things that you typically see in movies that create character development, but I guess it was okay. I enjoyed the score. It matched everything that was going on. I love the title because it literally was here, and they kept saying it, like she ended the movie with saying like, I love it here. Like, there were so many different moments where they plugged the title in that I felt like were chef's kiss. And lastly, enjoyability. There were some slow parts, but I stayed the course. Overall, it was an enjoyable film, and I rated it an 8 out of 10. I think it was again, a dynamic story told. I like movies that are just about storytelling. I always reference the movie 3,000 Years of Longing. Like, that movie, it was literally 3,000 years of longing. It felt like it was 3,000 years watching that movie. But it was a great story at every point. And so it was worth the watch. And I committed to watching this, and I'm glad that I did. I recommend seeing it with like your grandparents or your parents or just other family that you grew up in the same space with. There were a lot of like family groupings sitting around me. And so yeah, I really enjoyed this film. I recommend everybody go and see it. Recliners, that's it. Thank you for kicking it with me again. Go ahead and like, share, subscribe. Tell me what you think about the movie once you've seen it in the comments. And I will see you all very, very soon. Bye.